Star Trek's best movie villain isn't Khan, it's this underrated character. For decades, Star Trek fans have debated who the franchise's greatest villain really is. It's almost a reflex for most people to point to Khan Noonien Singh, the genetically engineered tyrant brought to life by Ricardo Montalban in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. He's cunning, passionate, and theatrical, qualities that made him unforgettable. But as iconic as Khan is, he's not Star Trek's best movie villain. That honor belongs to someone else. Dr. Tolian Soran, the quietly devastating antagonist from Star Trek Generations. Malcolm McDowell's performance as Soran is frequently overlooked, buried under the weight of Generations' divisive reputation and the monumental event it contained, the death of Captain James T. Kirk. Yet when you strip away the spectacle, Soran stands out as one of Star Trek's most thematically rich and psychologically grounded villains. Unlike Khan, who is fueled by revenge, Soran is driven by something far more relatable and terrifying: the desperate, all-consuming fear of mortality, the power of a human villain. Most Star Trek villains are larger-than-life figures. They lead armadas, represent empires, or embody cosmic threats. Khan is an apex predator, a warrior poet obsessed with vengeance. The Borg Queen commands an entire hive mind. Nero from Star Trek 2009 destroys planets. Krall from Star Trek Beyond literally feeds off life energy. Soran, by contrast, is just a man. No super strength, no army, no advanced alien physiology. He's a scientist, brilliant, methodical, and quietly broken. His villainy doesn't come from a lust for power or domination, but from grief. He lost his family when the Nexus, an energy ribbon of pure bliss, was ripped away from him decades earlier. Ever since, he's dedicated his life to finding his way back, no matter the cost. That premise might sound simple, but it taps into the core of Star Trek's humanity. Soran doesn't want to rule the galaxy. He just wants to be happy again. In a universe filled with warp drives, temporal anomalies, and immortals, his tragedy feels deeply, uncomfortably real. He's a man who refuses to accept that time moves on, that life means loss. The antithesis of Captain Picard. What makes Soran such a compelling villain isn't just his motivation, it's how perfectly he mirrors Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Star Trek Generations came at a turning point in Picard's life. His family, his brother Robert and nephew Rene, had died in a fire. For a man defined by duty and restraint, the loss shattered him. For the first time, Picard felt the crushing weight of his own mortality and the emptiness of a life spent in service of ideals that suddenly felt hollow. Then he meets Soran, a man who's taken that same existential despair and twisted it into obsession. The two are two sides of the same coin. Both are men of intellect and discipline, both scarred by personal loss. But where Picard tries to face his pain, Soran runs from it, literally, into the arms of the Nexus. Their conversations are among the film's strongest moments. When Soran tells Picard, "They say time is the fire in which we burn," it isn't just villainous rhetoric. It's a thesis statement for the entire movie. To Soran, time is an enemy, something cruel and unstoppable. To Picard, it becomes a teacher. Their philosophical duel gives Generations its emotional backbone. While Khan represents external conflict, the battle of wits and vengeance, Soran embodies internal struggle. He doesn't challenge the Enterprise crew's tactics. He challenges their faith in the very ideals that make them who they are. Malcolm McDowell's quiet menace. Malcolm McDowell plays Soran with remarkable restraint. There's no wild gesturing or hammy monologues here, just quiet intensity. His calmness is what makes him dangerous. When he threatens to destroy an entire star system, he does so with the detached rationality of a scientist describing a chemical reaction. It's horrifying precisely because he believes he's justified. In one chilling exchange, Data asks Soran how he can justify killing millions of people to reach the Nexus. Soran replies, "They're not going to die. They're going to truly live." That twisted logic captures everything Star Trek has always warned against: the corruption of intellect divorced from compassion. McDowell, known for his anarchic energy in films like A Clockwork Orange, channels that intensity inward here. Soran isn't a madman shouting into the void. He's a philosopher who's gone too far. He's calm because he believes he's right, and that conviction makes him scarier than any screaming tyrant. A villain with a personal stakes. One of the reasons Soran resonates is that his goal isn't abstract. He isn't trying to conquer, he's trying to escape. His motivations are small in scale but immense in emotional weight. That human vulnerability makes him relatable, and that relatability makes him dangerous. In contrast, Khan's motivation, while powerful, is rooted in revenge for events that feel distant from the audience. He blames Kirk for the death of his wife and the ruin of his world, but his obsession feels operatic, even romanticized. Soran's drive, on the other hand, feels like something anyone could fall prey to. Who wouldn't, if given the chance, sacrifice almost anything to reclaim the happiest moment of their life? That's what makes Generations such a fascinating outlier in Star Trek's cinematic history. Instead of a grand interstellar war or political intrigue, it presents a battle over the nature of happiness itself, the Nexus as a mirror. The Nexus is one of Star Trek's most intriguing and misunderstood concepts. It's not heaven, nor is it an illusion. It's a temporal phenomenon that manifests your deepest desires, trapping you in eternal bliss. To Soran, it's paradise. To Picard, it's temptation. In a sense, the Nexus is Soran's addiction. It offers him the comfort he's lost, but at the cost of everything real. His willingness to destroy worlds to reach it mirrors the destructive nature of obsession itself. It's not hard to read the Nexus as a metaphor for any escape mechanism, whether it's addiction, nostalgia, or denial. That's what makes Soran's tragedy so potent. He's not evil in the traditional sense, he's broken. The tragedy is that, in his pursuit of happiness, he destroys everything that could have made him whole. It's Shakespearean in scope, but deeply human in its execution. Why Soran deserves more credit? The reason Soran often gets overlooked is because Generations itself is a controversial film. It was tasked with passing the torch between the original series and the next generation, while also giving Captain Kirk a final send-off. Those elements overshadowed the film's more intimate character work. Fans remember the bridge collapse, the awkward Nexus time loop, and the mixed critical reception, but they forget the haunting brilliance of Soran's story. Yet, in retrospect, Soran feels more relevant than ever. His fear of time's passage and his craving for comfort mirror our modern anxieties. In a world obsessed with nostalgia and escapism, where we can relive our best moments endlessly through technology, Soran feels eerily prophetic. He's what happens when the human desire to escape pain overrides the need to live authentically. Unlike Khan, who is ultimately destroyed by his own pride, Soran is undone by his own blindness. He can't see that what he's chasing is a shadow, not a reality. Picard's triumph isn't just defeating Soran physically, it's recognizing that happiness isn't found in illusion, but in embracing the fleeting nature of life, a legacy hidden in the shadows. It's ironic that Soran, a character obsessed with escaping time, has been largely forgotten by it. He didn't become a pop culture icon like Khan, nor did he spawn countless memes or sequel appearances. But his presence lingers in subtle ways. Later Star Trek villains, such as Shinzen and Nemesis and Krall and beyond, echo his theme of loss-driven obsession. Even the Borg Queen's seductive allure of perfection can be traced back to the moral temptation embodied by the Nexus. Soran also left an indelible mark on Picard's arc. His confrontation with Soran in Generations directly shaped the introspective, melancholic version of Picard we see later in Star Trek, Picard. The older captain who questions his legacy, his family,